Welcome back, it's Zion from Uke on Demand, and this week we're going over a beautiful classic song by Chopin. We're going to go over the first part of the lesson in this video, but you can get the rest of the tutorial and all the tabs at ukeondemand.com. So to begin, we're going to start out in an E7, and that's just the index finger on the first fret of the G, middle finger on the second fret of the C, and ring finger on the second fret of the A. Now we're not going to strum it just yet. First, we'll pick the E string, and I'll go ahead and play this bar in context very slowly so you can hear how it sounds. And to play that part again, we're in that E7. We're gonna pick the E string first, so the E string is still open. And keeping that E7 position in place, we're just going to add the pinky to the 4th fret of the A. And if you need to move your ring finger off of it for this section, that's totally fine. We're gonna strum this entire chord. After we let that sit for a second, we're going to just slide the pinky up one more fret to the 5th fret. And here's why we made the position in advance. Now we can just release the pinky and drop right into the E7, and we're going to strum the entire chord once. Pick the E string, the open E, and the 2nd fret of A together. And then just strum the E7 once more. From here, we're going to go all the way to the 9th fret of the fretboard. We're going to have the middle finger on the 9th fret of the A, and the ring finger on the 10th fret of the E. Now, if you want to do this with your index and middle finger, if that's a little bit more comfortable for you, that's totally fine as well. But either way, you're going to just pick those 2 strings together. And then we're going to slide it down just 3 frets, so it's on the 6th fret of the A. And then the E string is just on, your finger will just be on the 8th fret of the E. And again, it's just those 2 together. From there, just going to pick the 7th fret of A by itself. And then we're going to go into a barred A chord. And so that's going to look like this. We're going to be barring the 9th fret, and we'll have our pinky, or your ring finger, since the frets are so close together up here, whichever one's more comfortable, on the 12th fret of the A. Just like that. Now, if bar chords are a little bit tricky for you in general, you can do a double bar, so just add the middle finger to your index, on top of your index, while still having your pinky on the 12th fret of the A. And that can help with pressure, to apply the pressure for the bar. It's not the best option, but it can definitely work in a pinch if you need a little help. A second option to simplify the bar chord a little bit is to play some of the bar chord. So you can just bar the bottom 3 strings at the 9th fret, so the C, E, and A, and of course still have your finger on the 12th fret of A. And as long as you don't play the G string, start from the C string and strum down, then you're only barring 3 strings instead of 4. So that can simplify it as well, as long as you don't hit that G string, because that will change the chord completely. Moving on, we're going to continue to play with this chord, so just leave your fingers where they are. And we're just going to pick the 12th fret of the A along with the 9th fret of the E. And then simply pick the chord one more time, whichever way you've decided to orient your fingers. So now that we've reached the end of bar 1, let's go ahead and go back to the beginning and play it together slowly. We still got those last 2 notes at the end, but we'll get to them in just a second. So, starting in your E7 position from the beginning. And then moving on to the second bar, we've got this little intro to it right here. So you're just going to pick the 4th fret of the A with the open E string, which launches us into bar 2. And I'll go ahead again and play it slowly first so you can hear it in context. And so playing that section, we're just going to have the index finger on the 1st fret of C and middle finger on the 1st fret of the A. And starting from the C string, we're not going to strum the entire chord, just from the C, we're going to strum down. Add the ring finger to the 2nd fret of the A. And here, this might be a little bit of an awkward position, but we're going to start out with the index finger on the 2nd fret of the E and pinky on the 5th fret of the A and middle on the 4th fret of the E. So this is a little bit awkward, and we're not going to hit the G string for this chord. So 4th fret C, 2nd fret E, 5th fret A. And you can orient your fingers a little differently if you want. If you wanted to have your ring finger on the 5th fret instead of the pinky, that's totally fine. But whichever way is more comfortable for you, have an easier time getting in and out of this position. So, strumming down once, then leaving the chord there, we're going to pick the A string and the C string together, and then simply strum down from the C string one more time. From here, we're going to move your ring finger to the 4th fret of the E and index to the 2nd fret of the C. And we're just going to pick those 2 strings together. And then one more time. Open A. And now we're going to go into an A chord, but it's going to look a little bit different than your usual A chord. So we're going to have that basic F A chord shape. So index finger on the 1st fret of the C and middle finger on the 2nd fret of the G. But we're also going to have our pinky on the 4th fret of the A. And we're going to strum that just once. And then leaving the chord there, we're going to pick the C string and A string together. And then just strum the chord one more time. Now that we've gotten this far, let's play this entire bar together very slowly. So we'll back it up to the last note on the previous bar. So just picking the 4th fret of A and open E together. And then starting with bar 2. And that's how to play the first half of Prelude in A major. To get the rest of the tutorial and all the tabs, head over to ukeondemand.com and subscribe below so you don't miss our upcoming fingerstyle tutorials. We'll see you next time.